Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year that we all pretty much been waiting for. Us YouTubers, casual movie fans, even the movie fans that go to the movies twice or three times a month. It's that time of the year, top 10 of the years. I'm ecstatic. I've been waiting to do this video since January 2021. I love these videos, and I kind of cheated last year. I gave you like 30 movies, but this year I promise not to cheat. I'm gonna keep it the normal route. Hit you with like five honorable mentions, and then I'm gonna get straight to my top 10. And we were spoiled this year. But enough talk. Let's get straight into it. Honorable mentions. Barbarian is the first honorable mention. Talk about shock value and knowing how to handle a twist in a movie. Wow. This is a weird type of movie because it's a tale of two different movies. It starts a certain way, and then you get a hard reset, and then you get another hard reset. So this is like three different movies, and then it all ties in together. But man, when I say shock value and twist, this film sets it up in a certain way where you think you know where it's heading, but you don't know at all. This film makes you feel grimy, uneasy, unsettling. It's great also seeing Justin Long. I personally don't see him in much, so maybe I'm watching the wrong movies. But man, the lead was fantastic. I'm a Bill Skarsgård fan. You know, my boy playing it. So yeah, this film was fantastic. I highly recommend you watch it because I guarantee you're not gonna expect what's gonna happen in this film. And next up, my next honorable mention is Tar. I'm honestly surprised it's not in my top 10, but that's just showing you how great of a year for films that is. But Kate Blanchett is for sure, in my opinion, winning the Oscars for her acting in here because she was phenomenal. This film is pretty much about being your worst enemy, being the top and doing everything in your power to pretty much break yourself down. And man, that last shot is kind of haunting at what you see. It's whew, crazy. But yeah, me being a fan of music and somebody that loves score and music, I feel like you would definitely love this film, seeing the ins and out of that stuff, man. Phenomenal film. Next up is a film called She Said, which I'm a little disappointed because I'm not seeing enough people talk about how great this movie actually is, man. It's about the Harvey Weinstein case, and they do not hold any punches. Some of the best acting I've seen all year round, man. Whew, they go there, and it really shows you like everybody has the dream of going to Hollywood and making it big, but it's a dark side to it, and this film shows you that exactly. Wonderful film. I really wish it was being talked about more, but we kind of know why that is. But anyways, next honorable mention is The Menu. Easily one of the funniest films I've seen of the year. Comedy has been it's been a dying breed to say the least, but this is a twist of a dark humor with horror put together, and Ralph Fiennes, Anna Taylor Joy, Taylor Joy, Nicholas Holt. This cast was phenomenal. The premise was insane. Woo! But this is yeah. Just you may think like you have your dream job and everything is all peaches and stuff, but be careful how you treat others. That's all I'll say. Yeah, it's be careful. Phenomenal film, man. If you're a Ratatouille fan, I'll let you experience that for yourself. But yeah, and my last honorable mentions for the year is this film surprised me because I didn't know what to expect from it, but it's The Woman King. Phenomenal film, probably the best fight choreography I've seen all year. Yes, I know Bullet Train came out and all that, but whew, if you have not watched it, do yourself a favor. And it just missed my top 10. Viola Davis was ultra committed to this role. She got yoked up. Man, and the story itself, it was not just action and flair. It had a real intricate story. Man, wonderful cast, wonderful movie. Highly recommend. And those were my honorable mentions for 2022. Like I said, packed year. Those were great films that could easily make it in somebody's top 10, and I wouldn't blink an eye. But let's start while we're really here. The top 10 of the year, the movies that really impacted me the most, my favorite movies of the year. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight to it. At number 10, I'm glad this film made it. I was worried for a little bit because so much heat was coming out, but it smiled. Man, what to say about this movie? So when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is creepy, unsettling. I like how it looks, but I'm not gonna lie, it gave me the feels of the early 2000 movies, but a cheaper version. It felt like a bootleg Rain, Grudge, something of that nature. So I wasn't expecting much, and then I started hearing all this hype surrounding it. I'm like, I don't know if I believe this because everything I saw from the trailers, that I didn't feel that. When I tell you I'm wrong, oh boy, was I glad I was wrong. I'm a grown ass man, and this and this movie left me in the fetal position. That's all I gotta say, man. Legit audible like jump scares. I literally jumped out my seat in the theater, and like well executed jump scares because a lot of time horror these days they just use excess jump scares just for the hell of it. Here it was executed perfectly, and there was a purpose to it. Man, this was frightening, unsettling. Whew, Smile really shocked me, man. At number 9, I had a film, honestly, while I was watching it, I thought it would be my number one for the year. But it quite didn't, it didn't make it. But I'm just telling you, it's just, like, this year was that good for movies. But it's Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. I know Ryan Johnson hates that title, but it's what it's being called. But this film, oh my lord. Talk about executing and topping the film in every which way possible. And that's honestly going to be a theme for the rest of these movies that you're going to see pretty soon. But yeah, man, Glass Onion is bigger, bolder, funnier than the first film. And what I like about this one more is the first Knives Out, you pretty much know who did it. It's just little twists and turns that you don't know how it got to it. Here, you have absolutely no idea who done it, and it's a legit mystery this go round, man. Daniel Craig as Blanc. Man, I thought James Bond was his role, but here he is having so much fun. He owns his role. This film is hilarious. The cast outdid itself. I first saw this cast, I'm like, this is a step down from the first one. Boy, was I wrong, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ryan Johnson did his thing. The mystery was kept all the way to the end. I just wish the execution was a little bit better towards the end, and maybe it'll be a little higher. But still, overall, phenomenal film. And at the number 8 spot, talk about sequels that outdid the original. Avatar, The Way of Water. Wow. This is visual magic. This is the essence of movies. James Cameron understands the movie going audience. He understands what they want to see. He may talk a lot of disrespectful stuff, but all in all, this man is he's a filmmaker, man. And Avatar: The Way of Water is better in every way possible than the first film. This is a more personal film with a third act. This third act in this film, God, it does not let up. The action here is incredible. Lord, man, the story, it's 3 hours long, and it does not feel that at all. You felt a weight, and it honestly, any given moment, I felt any character, the stakes were that high that any character could die. And I love how the villain was introduced this go around. I didn't know how I would feel with him coming back. I'm like, it's been done already. Do we really want to see him again? And we do. We do. It feels that much more personal in how it's executed. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. This story, man, kept me on the edge of my seat. Yeah, Avatar: The Way of Water was fantastic. Did not disappoint. And the next film, I'm honestly surprised, man. It was in my top 5, top 3 for all of the year. It's just so much more. He came out that it dropped. But it's the Batman. And listen. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves had to do pretty much the impossible, in my opinion. This is the first solo film following up Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, a beloved trilogy, and you had to follow it up with Robert Pattinson, who us movie fans and movie goers know how excellent of a actor he is, but the general public, they still have this hue of him as being the Twilight Boy and stuff like that. So his respect is not quite there. For them to accomplish what they did with this film, oh my God. This is the first film that really focuses on Batman as a character. Because a lot of people, it's usually Bruce Wayne they focus on, which I understand. He's the man behind the mask. But here, it's fully focused on Batman and how much of a tortured soul he is and him trying to figure himself out. I love that. And this is the first film I legit felt Gotham as a character itself, the grimy underworld of it, the supporting cast, Colin Farrell as Penguin, unrecognizable. One of my favorite performances of the year. This man has been on 10. Catwoman, whew, phenomenal. Best since Michelle Pfeiffer, which is not hard to do. We had Halle Berry and Anne Hathaway was good for what she was given, but Zoe Kravitz knocked that out the park, man. This movie was phenomenal. The Riddler, mm, 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 mm. The best Batman villain since Heath Ledger's, I'd probably say, if I could think of it on screen that we seen, he was chilling. Complete different take from the Riddler that we know, and it still ended up working. And I felt the essence. But let me not harp on this movie for too long. It's only my number 7. Let me get to something else. And at number 6, man, I keep saying that I'm surprised these films are so low, but man, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Man, this film hit me emotional, man. The subject matter here was phenomenal. Without being overly preachy, I love how they made it digestible for the audience because yeah, it plays off as this great martial art, a building, bending multiverse type film, but it actually has a message to it, a very profound one at that, man. Like, just be aware of your loved ones, like like be really focused on what's important to you in your life, man. And like I said, it did all that without being overly preachy. Michelle Yeoh was man, everybody outdid themselves here. This film had me dying. I say comedy is a dying breed, but I love how comedy is being infused to all these different genres, and it's working excellent. And yeah, we're about to get into my top 5 of the year. These movies right here, any given year, they could have been number 1 in my list. But to start off at the number 5 spot, I have Steven Spielberg's The Fablemans, man. This is the film that I'll say that shook me to the core out of probably any film I've seen. And it's not because it had like these shocking events, like these scary events or anything of that nature. It's just it's a love letter to film, pretty much. It felt therapeutic a little bit for Steven Spielberg because I know this is loosely based on his life, so it takes the approach of somebody that's falling in love with films, and you've seen the in and outs of filmmaking. It's beautiful, and then it has this heart wrenching story involved into it. Dude that played Ray Daniel played the role phenomenal. Michelle Williams, man, and Steph Rogen, unrecognizable. Not because he had prosthetics or makeups or anything like that. It's the character. I've never seen him play this character before, and it really. I got some things to say about his character, man. But this movie overall, yeah, it's a love letter to movies, and me being somebody that I owe movies a lot, just for my life. So yeah, seeing that, I felt like I was in Steven Spielberg's shoe, man. Like, wonderful film, absolutely wonderful film. And number 4, number 4, Robert Eggers' The Northman. This is his most digestible film. It's watered down. It's not as complex as his other films, The Witch and The Lighthouse, etc. But you would hear simplistic, and you would think that's a dig. Not at all. It worked perfectly. I felt like the story needed to be simplistic to the point that it's honestly my favorite movie of his. Period, man. This is an excellent film. Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, man. I'm a sucker for this medieval Vikings times. So yeah, seeing that, And this revenge story, how it perspired from beginning to end, you're following this character. Excellent movie. Excellent movie. It's been in my top for the year, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know Robert Eggers said he's probably never going to do a movie so simplistic again. I'm just glad that we got this in the first place because this movie was mwah, excellent. Excellent. Now, these next two, 3 and 2, I fought with how I would rank them. But I think I could settle with this ranking for now. But this third film is a film that I thought out of all the movies I've seen this year is the one that stayed in my psyche the most, and it's the Banshees of Inisherin, easily, and it stings me that it's not my number one. But damn, this movie is excellent. Comedy, funniest movie of the year, absolutely funniest of the year. But it's dark humor. I hear a lot of people say, I guess it's a sensitive time. Like comedies, they gotta be PG. There's nothing PG about it here at all. Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, oh my God, Barry Keoghan. Man, this movie starts out as a comedy, is lighthearted, and I was and it was the trailer that really sold me. Because I saw it as like these two friends that have been best friends for years, and all of a sudden another friend just automatically just stops want to be friends with him, want to be associated with him. So I go into this movie trying to figure out. I'm like, damn, why? I had best friends, but if we have fallen out, it's for a reason. This time, I'm not just gonna randomly wake up one day and be like, nah, I don't want to be a friend. But when you find out the reason why, man, I felt for Colin Farrell's character. But that's not it. It's that twist that this film takes, gets extremely heavy, dark. It turns into a complete different movie. The standout to me, yes, Colin Farrell was phenomenal. He deserves to win all awards. But Barry Keoghan's character, oh my lord, I fell for him, man. I fell for him, and how it all perspired at the end. His performance was amazing, but that twist, man, this turned into such a dark movie, man. I love the acting, the scenery of I forgot where they shot it from. I don't want to misspeak, but beautiful. The greens, the buildings, the island itself, the story between Colin Farrell and his sister was so heartfelt. Man, and I did not expect that ending, but it's haunting, it's beautiful, it's poetic. Loved it. Let's get to the top two of the year. I don't know if you know me, if you're gonna know what these top two are, but it's been like that for a while. And this number two film is probably the hardest watch of the year for me, man, because Lord, All Quiet on the front on the Western Front. I'm sorry, yeah, All Quiet on the Western Front, I believe, is the name of this film. It's a German movie. It's on Netflix. For somebody that loves 1917, it was my favorite movie of that year. This movie does not hold back. It does not. A lot of times, war movies trying to glamorize war, trying to make it feel heroic and all of this stuff. There is none of that. All that glitz and glamour is completely shined off. It's a lot of close quarter combat. It shows you the ugly, ugly side of war. How pretty much these kids are used as pawns, and grim outlook of war, man. Completely grim outlook of war, which is the most realistic in my opinion, man. Watching these characters, it's 2.5 hours and it doesn't feel like it, but you're watching these characters from beginning to end, and how it concludes, gut wrenching, man. Absolutely gut wrenching. Phenomenal film, and any given year would have easily been my number one film of the year, but it's All Quiet on the Western Front, man. Wow, hardest watch of the year. Absolutely hardest watch. Cinematography here, by the way. Mwah. I don't know what it is about these war movies, but whew, I think it's because it's shot on location, but they just look phenomenal. But yeah, let's get to my number one. I'm pretty sure at this point, since you have not seen this film appear its head in my list, you know what it is, and it's been my number one film since its release. And to show that I'm not really biased, the original film, I liked it, but I wasn't over the moon with it as some people are, because I know some people hear this movie and the original, they go crazy. I like the original, but this one right here, and I'm speaking of Top Gun Maverick. God damn, woo! Yeah, the first one I enjoyed it, but this one right here, 36 years in the making. 36. And to be this good makes it's I can't I can't come up with the words to explain why this movie is so good. Leaves you on the edge of your seat, high octane, heart racing, pumping action. Tom Cruise as Maverick owns a role. Rooster, ah man, I love this film, man. I love this film. This film is a quintessential blockbuster movie. It has everything you needed. Out of all these movies this year, we had DC films, we had Marvel films, we had Jurassic Park films. None of them reached the height of this as being a blockbuster movie, man. Excellent film, man. And it's not just pure action. That's not the only reason why it's number one. It's the overall heartfelt story, man. And and to me, I'm a guy that loves character arcs, like seeing a character start one way and then end up another way. And that was my main problem with the first Top Gun film. I didn't feel Pete Maverick's character had a real character arc. I feel like he was a hothead, a bonehead from the start. And until dude died, he didn't really have an arc. But here, you see him from that movie to that's a total 180 as far as a character goes. He cares about others. It's not just about himself anymore. And as you can tell, how the final mission ended, like that's a character arc in my opinion, man. This movie was phenomenal. It blew the first one out the water, blew every other film out the water, man. This is yeah, it's a movie that you could root for. It's a movie that makes you feel inspired. Man, this movie did it, man. I didn't expect much from it this year. It wasn't in my most anticipated, but it's my favorite movie of the year, Top Gun Maverick, by far. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. My top 10 movies of the year for 2022. And of course, sprinkled in some honorable mentions. I had a spectacular year, man. I know some people are saying this was a down year for movies. I don't know what movies you watch. Maybe you strictly stick to streaming, which was decent in itself, but it's far from a down year in my opinion, man. I had a struggle coming up with my top 10 and honorable mention, but yeah, I cannot wait for next year cuz yeah, 2023 is going to be just as insane as 2022 from what I'm seeing, but man, yeah, this year was a film lover's dream in my opinion, man. I got everything I wanted. All these different genres shine. Horror had a phenomenal year. Oh my god, every genre had their year, but I'm getting long-winded as far as this video go. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please drop your list down in the bottom. I would love to see what your top 10 of the year. If you don't like my list, I understand. It is what it is. You can't satisfy everybody. But yeah, until next time, I'm Kevin D. Moss, and I'm out. Thank you.